Close your eyes for a moment and imagine that everything you have been searching for, abundance, prosperity, opportunity, peace, is already moving toward you. Now ask yourself honestly, if that were true, why hasn't it arrived yet? Perhaps the answer is not outside of you. Perhaps the greatest barrier has never been the world, your circumstances, or your past. Perhaps it has been the subconscious programs silently running your life. Because the universe does not give you what you occasionally desire. It reflects what you repeatedly believe. And tonight, we are going to change that belief. Most people spend years trying to change their circumstances, never realizing that circumstances are often the final expression of something happening deep within consciousness. We change jobs, relationships, cities, and strategies, yet the same patterns mysteriously return. Why? Because reality is first created within. Every experience begins as a thought repeatedly entertained, an emotion repeatedly felt, and a belief repeatedly accepted as truth. Your subconscious mind records all of it. I have seen this principle in my own life. Whenever I focused constantly on scarcity, worrying about money and expecting disappointment, opportunities seemed distant. But when I intentionally cultivated gratitude, certainty, and trust, unexpected doors began opening. The external world had not changed overnight. My inner world had. The universe responds less to what you occasionally desire and more to what you consistently embody. Abundance is not something you chase endlessly outside yourself. It is a state of consciousness you awaken within. And the subconscious does not transform through occasional motivation. It transforms through repetition. That is why repeating an intention 6 times with presence is so powerful. When you slowly repeat words such as, "I am aligned with abundance," while genuinely feeling gratitude, you are doing far more than speaking. You are issuing energetic instructions to your subconscious, replacing old limitations with new possibilities. Day after day, these repeated impressions become identity, and identity silently shapes decisions, perceptions, relationships, and outcomes, whether you notice it consciously. Chaunt the inner signal, and reality will have no choice but to answer. Once you begin changing your inner world, something extraordinary starts happening. Life begins answering. You start thinking about a person, and they suddenly call. You open a book and find the exact sentence you needed. An unexpected opportunity appears precisely when you are ready to give up. Many dismiss these moments as coincidence, but consciousness traditions throughout history have viewed them differently. They are synchronicities, meaningful reflections, revealing that your inner state is becoming aligned with a greater intelligence. I remember periods when I repeatedly affirmed abundance while remaining present and grateful. During those times, unexpected conversations led to collaborations, ideas arrived effortlessly, and solutions appeared through seemingly ordinary events. Nothing felt forced. It felt guided. The more I trusted my intuition, the more these experiences increased. The universe rarely speaks through thunder. More often, it whispers through intuitive nudges, recurring symbols, sudden inspirations, or chance encounters that alter the direction of your life. Yet most people never notice because they are distracted, rushing, or trapped in fear. When the mind is noisy, subtle guidance becomes impossible to hear. This is why repeating your intention 6 times each day is so important. Repetition quiets internal conflict and aligns your subconscious with your deepest desire. As coherence grows, your perception sharpens. You begin recognizing opportunities that were always present, but previously invisible. Do not chase signs obsessively. Instead, cultivate awareness, trust your inner knowing, and allow synchronicities to reveal the path already unfolding before you with remarkable grace and precision, always. As you begin recognizing these subtle signs and synchronicities, another profound truth emerges. The universe is not responding to what you occasionally ask for. It is responding to who you consistently are. This is where many people unknowingly block abundance. They pray for prosperity while secretly expecting disappointment. They ask for success while feeling unworthy of receiving it. They affirm wealth with their words, yet emotionally remain attached to fear and scarcity. And this internal contradiction weakens the signal they are sending into the field of consciousness. The universe mirrors your dominant state of being. If, deep within, you identify as someone who struggles, reality will continue presenting experiences that reinforce that identity. Not as punishment, but as reflection. Reality reflects identity before it reflects desire. I have experienced this personally. There were moments when I sincerely wanted greater abundance, yet internally I still carried beliefs such as, things never work out for me, or success belongs to others. No amount of external effort could overcome those unconscious programs. Only when I consciously began changing the way I saw myself did circumstances begin to shift. This is why repeating your intention 6 times each day must become more than a ritual. When you say, I am aligned with abundance, do not merely speak the words. Feel them, think abundantly, make decisions abundantly, act as someone who trusts life rather than fears it. Express gratitude before results appear. Generosity before excess arrives. Confidence before evidence exists. Because the moment your identity changes, reality begins reorganizing itself to match the person you have become. Once you begin embodying the identity of abundance, you discover something even more important. Thoughts alone are not enough. Many people repeat affirmations every day and then wonder why nothing changes. They say, I am prosperous, but they say it mechanically, without feeling, without presence, without conviction, and the subconscious mind does not respond primarily to words. It responds to emotion. Emotion is the language of the subconscious. It is the force that transforms a simple thought into an energetic instruction. Think about it. Some experiences from childhood remain vivid decades later, while thousands of ordinary days have been forgotten. Why? Because strong emotions imprinted those experiences deeply into your subconscious. Emotion amplifies memory, belief, and perception. The same principle applies to manifestation. I learned this lesson during a period when I would repeat positive statements every morning. Yet internally, I still felt anxious and doubtful. The words sounded beautiful, but they carried no energy. Nothing changed. Then I began slowing down. Instead of merely saying, abundance flows to me, I closed my eyes and genuinely felt gratitude as if abundance had already arrived. I imagined the peace, freedom, and joy I desired. Gradually, something shifted. My emotional state changed first, and shortly afterward, my external experiences began changing as well. When intention is united with gratitude, love, certainty, and emotional conviction, it becomes coherent. And coherence is what the universe responds to. So when you repeat your intention 6 times, do not simply recite it. Feel it in every cell of your body, as though it is already real. Because emotion turns intention into creation. As you begin feeling your intentions emotionally, your entire relationship with the universe starts to change. Most people unknowingly approach life from a state of separation. They speak to the universe as if it were distant, external, and withholding. Their prayers often sound like pleas born from fear. Please help me. Please give me abundance. Please change my circumstances. But hidden beneath those words is an assumption of lack, and the subconscious faithfully records that lack as reality. What if the universe is not separate from you at all? What if you are not an isolated individual, struggling to convince an indifferent cosmos to respond? Ancient spiritual traditions have always pointed toward a deeper truth. You are part of the same intelligent field of consciousness that gives birth to stars, galaxies, and life itself. The creative force you seek is already flowing through you. I remember a time when I constantly asked life for opportunities while secretly believing that I had to prove myself worthy first. Every request carried anxiety. Every desire carried desperation. Then something shifted. Instead of asking from need, I began speaking from connection. Rather than saying, "Please bring abundance into my life," I would quietly affirm, "I align myself with the abundance already present within existence." That subtle change transformed everything. I no longer felt like a beggar asking for permission. I felt like a conscious participant in creation. So when you repeat your intention 6 times, speak with clarity, trust, and gratitude. Do not beg. Do not plead. Remember who you are and speak accordingly. You are not asking the universe for abundance. You are awakening to your unity with it. The moment you begin remembering your connection with the universe, another transformation becomes necessary. You must release the identity of scarcity. This may be one of the most difficult steps, because many people have spent years, even decades, unconsciously defining themselves through struggle. Listen carefully to how people often describe themselves. "I've always been unlucky. Money has never stayed with me. Nothing ever works out for me. This is just who I am." Over time, these statements stop being observations and become identity. And identity is powerful because the subconscious always seeks evidence to support who you believe you are. If you identify as someone who constantly struggles, your mind will unconsciously notice obstacles more than opportunities. You will hesitate when possibilities appear. You will doubt yourself when abundance approaches. Not because abundance is unavailable, but because your subconscious is trying to remain loyal to the familiar version of you. I experienced this in my own life. For years, I carried an invisible belief that success belonged to other people. Even when opportunities appeared, I would question them, delay action, or assume failure before beginning. Only when I became aware of this pattern did change begin. I stopped saying, "This is simply who I am," and started affirming, "I am capable of growth. I am capable of receiving. I am capable of transformation." That simple shift created space for a completely new reality. When you repeat your intention 6 times each day, do not merely ask for abundance. Become someone who expects expansion instead of limitation. Release the old story. Refuse to define yourself by your past, because abundance enters the moment you stop identifying with scarcity. As you release the identity of scarcity, you begin creating space for one of the most transformative forces available to human consciousness: gratitude. Most people postpone gratitude. They tell themselves, "I will be grateful when I have more money, when my circumstances improve, when life finally gives me what I want." But this way of thinking unknowingly reinforces lack because it sends a clear message to the subconscious: I do not have enough right now. Scarcity always focuses on absence. It constantly asks, what is missing? What is wrong? What do I still need? And because attention is creative, the mind continues finding more reasons to feel deprived. Gratitude operates differently. Gratitude says, life is already supporting me. Even now, there is something beautiful, meaningful, and abundant present in my experience. I remember going through difficult periods when external results were not yet visible. During those times, it would have been easy to focus entirely on what was lacking. Instead, I intentionally began appreciating simple things. My health, supportive relationships, new ideas, opportunities to learn, even the breath moving through my body. At first, nothing outside changed, but internally, everything changed. Fear began dissolving, trust increased, hope returned, and soon, external opportunities began appearing in unexpected ways. Gratitude is powerful because it signals completion rather than deficiency. It tells your subconscious and the universe that you already recognize abundance in your life. And when consciousness experiences abundance internally, it naturally attracts experiences that reflect that state. So, when you repeat your intention 6 times, begin and end with gratitude. Because gratitude transforms what you have into evidence that more is already on its way. As gratitude becomes your dominant state, you begin to realize something astonishing. You have been programming your subconscious your entire life, whether consciously or unconsciously. Most people believe they only manifest when they meditate, visualize, or repeat affirmations. But manifestation is happening continuously. Every fear rehearsed repeatedly, every negative scenario imagined before it happens, every anxious conversation played over and over in the mind is shaping the subconscious. Think about how many times people imagine failure before taking action. They rehearse rejection before making the phone call. They anticipate loss before investing in themselves. They expect disappointment before life has even responded. Worry, in essence, is negative visualization practiced consistently. And the subconscious cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined fear and an actual experience. It simply accepts repeated impressions as truth. I remember periods in my own life when I would constantly think, what if this doesn't work? What if I fail? What if I lose everything? Without realizing it, I was mentally rehearsing the exact experiences I hoped to avoid. My energy became hesitant, my actions uncertain, and my results reflected that inner conflict. Then I understood something powerful. If the mind can repeatedly rehearse failure, it can also rehearse prosperity. This is why your inner dialogue matters so deeply. Statements such as, I am unlucky, nothing ever works for me, or I will never succeed, are not harmless observations. They are instructions. The subconscious listens carefully and organizes your perceptions accordingly, so become aware of every word you repeat. Replace fear with vision. Replace limitation with possibility, because your words are not describing your futures. They are creating it. As you begin consciously choosing empowering thoughts and visions, another universal principle reveals itself. Abundance was never meant to be hoarded. The universe itself operates through circulation. Look at nature. Rivers remain fresh because they flow. The air sustains life because it moves. Even your heart survives because it continuously gives and receives. Everything in existence expands through movement. Energy that flows grows stronger. Energy that stagnates begins to contract. Yet many people approach prosperity from fear. They hold tightly to everything they have because they fear there will never be enough. Ironically, this fear often creates the very scarcity they are trying to avoid. The subconscious interprets withholding as a sign that resources are limited. True prosperity begins when you understand that you are not merely a container designed to accumulate abundance. You are a channel through which abundance can move. I have experienced this repeatedly in my own life. Some of the greatest opportunities, relationships, and financial breakthroughs came not when I focused solely on receiving, but when I focused on contributing. Sharing knowledge, helping others, offering encouragement, and creating value often opened doors I could never have predicted. Life seemed to respond by providing even more opportunities to serve and grow. This does not mean giving recklessly or neglecting your own needs. It means understanding that generosity is an energetic declaration of trust. When you share your talents, kindness, wisdom, and value, you affirm to your subconscious that abundance already exists within and around you. So when you repeat your intention 6 times, ask yourself not only, what do I want to receive, but also, how can I become a greater channel for abundance? Because life entrusts more abundance to those through whom abundance freely flows. As you become a channel through which abundance flows, you begin to notice one final truth that changes everything. What you appreciate expands. This is not merely a beautiful spiritual idea. It is a fundamental principle of consciousness. The subconscious mind continuously amplifies whatever receives your attention. Whatever you repeatedly focus upon becomes emotionally strengthened, neurologically reinforced, and energetically projected into your experience. Unfortunately, most people have been conditioned to focus on absence. They wake up thinking about unpaid bills, unfinished goals, missed opportunities, and everything that seems to be lacking in their lives. Without realizing it, they train their consciousness to search for more evidence of scarcity. And because the mind always finds what it expects, lack becomes a familiar reality. But the moment you intentionally shift your attention, something remarkable begins to happen. I remember times when circumstances appeared uncertain and progress seemed slow. During those periods, I made a simple practice part of my daily life. Every morning and every night, I would consciously acknowledge even the smallest blessings. A meaningful conversation, a lesson learned, good health, the ability to dream, the simple gift of another day. At first it felt insignificant, but gradually my entire perception changed. I began noticing opportunities where I had previously seen obstacles. Possibilities appeared where I had once perceived limitations.